If you are visiting Yosemite National Park in 2025, you likely need an entrance reservation. So today I want to talk you through what these entrance reservations are so that you don't get turned away when you get to the park. My name is Ash. I'm a former park ranger and the founder of Dirt in My Shoes, and I have been helping people avoid the crowds and the traffic in the national parks for 10 years now. And today I want to talk about a park that is specifically very crowded and has a lot of traffic, and that's Yosemite. Yosemite National Park is requiring entrance reservations in 2025, meaning that for most people during the main season, the summer season, you will need a reservation to enter the park. This is a big deal because if you don't get one of these reservations, it is going to severely impact your trip, including you not even being able to get into the park during the main parts of the day. And I don't want you to get turned away when you get to the entrance station to this park. They will turn you away if you don't have these reservations during specific times. So let's talk the ins and outs of the Yosemite Peak Hours reservation, how you get one, who needs one, and how to bypass the system as well if that's of interest to you. So first, the Yosemite Peak Hours Reservation is a piloted program. They are still testing it out. It changes from year to year. I've been making this video. This is my 5th time making this video and helping people get these reservations. Every single year it is different. Now, what's nice about 2025 is it's a little bit simpler than it was last year, a little bit easier to navigate and understand. So I am excited about that. Unfortunately, these bigger, busier parks just need a way to, manage all the extra crowds and traffic that are becoming very normal in some of these places. Yosemite is one of those. Yosemite, I went to Yosemite the first time in 2012, and it was so dang busy. It felt very stressful. It was really hard to get parking. Everybody felt like really competitive because we're all trying to get the same parking spots and the same spots on the shuttles and all of that. And so this has been a problem for a long time. The entrance reservation program can be a giant pain to navigate, but it does help with the overcrowding issues that have just plagued this park for a while. So that's what these are for. These, you need this entrance reservation anywhere in the park. If you want to go into Yosemite and you're visiting during specific times, which we'll talk about here in a minute, then you have to have one of these reservations to get into the park at all. Even if you just want to drive through, even if you don't want to stop and do anything, doesn't matter. You have to have one of these reservations to get through the entrance stations in Yosemite National Park. To answer a couple of important questions right off the bat with this is you must get this entrance reservation online. You can't do it in person. You need to do it online in advance. This is in addition to your park entrance fee. So when you get to the entrance station, you will still need to pay a park entrance fee or show your annual pass that gives you admission to the park. And you will need to show one of these entrance reservations. So you need both. If you have a senior pass or an annual pass or anything like that, that will cover your entrance fee to the park, but it will not cover this entrance reservation. One more thing that's super important is that these entrance reservations do not guarantee parking in Yosemite. So you can get the entrance reservation and get into the park, but if you're not at the right places at the right times, you likely will not find parking. So the overcrowding and the traffic, it's still there. This program helps a little bit, but it is still super important that you have a plan, that you get there at a good time, that you know where to go and where to park so that you're able to navigate those crowds better. If you want my help with that, go over to the Dirt in My Shoes website and pick up my Yosemite Itinerary. I will show you when to be where, hour by hour, so that you're not sitting in traffic or circling parking lots, or so that you're not on these trails and at these viewpoints when it just feels super crowded and busy. I can help you make a better trip in addition to helping you get these entrance reservations. So now you understand why the entrance reservation is here and a brief overview of what it is. Let's jump into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk first about what dates you will need an entrance reservation to Yosemite. So this is the most important thing. This is what you'll want to pay attention to. If you're visiting Yosemite during these dates, then you will need one of these entrance reservations. I am on the official Yosemite National Park Service website where they have their information about the entrance reservations. And I'm going to walk you through this page because I do think there's a lot of information here and it gets pretty confusing for most people. And so let's just walk through this. Here are the dates that you will need an entrance reservation. So May 24th through May 26th, which is Memorial Day weekend, you need an entrance reservation for the hours of 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. June 15th through August 15th, you need an entrance reservation from the hours of 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And August 30th through September 1st, which is Labor Day weekend, you will need an entrance reservation from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So these bolded dates are the dates that they will be checking for entrance reservations during this time, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, if you are visiting outside of those dates, if you're in these other areas here, if you're May 27th through June 14th, August 16th through August 29th, they will not be checking for reservations. So you don't need one of these for those dates. If you are visiting, let's say June 13th through the 16th, if you're kind of straddling one of these, then the first couple of days, the 13th and the 14th, you won't need a reservation, but starting on the 15th, you will, for the 15th and 16th, for example. So you will want to pay attention to this, but if your dates straddle some of these, then you will still need the reservations during these dates that are saying that they will be checking for reservations. Now you'll notice it's only 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So even if you're not able to get an entrance reservation, you can enter the park before 6 a.m. or after 2 p.m. when they're not checking for reservations. So that's okay. They are super strict though on those times, especially the 2 p.m. Don't try to get there before 2 p.m. They will ticket you if you're blocking the road waiting for 2 p.m. to hit when they'll let you in. So don't try to do that, but you can enter outside of those times. These entrance reservations also are good for 3 consecutive days. And so in my other example, say you're going June 13th through the 16th, you don't need one for the 13th or the 14th, but you do starting on the 15th. So you'll want to make your reservation for June 15th, and that will include the 15th, 16th, and 17th if you want to stay an extra day. And so they are good for 3 consecutive days, which is nice. You don't have to get multiples if you're not staying more than 3 days. Okay, so scrolling down, now I want to talk about how to get one of these reservations. So you will use the website recreation.gov. This is a site that most national parks use for their reservation system. And so what they're doing this year is they are releasing all dates that have reservations needed on May 6th at 8 a.m. Pacific. They only gave us 7 days notice this year for that release date. And so if you miss that date, which probably most people will, it's just not enough time to get the word out that they're opening and people need to get on there and get these. So if you miss that release date, that initial release date of May 6th, then when you get on recreation.gov, you will notice that your dates will open up 7 days prior to the day that you need at 8 a.m. Pacific. So again, you missed that initial release date, you'll want to try for these reservations 7 days in advance of the day that you will be in the park. When you go over to recreation.gov, you will want to search for the Yosemite National Park ticketed entry. That will bring you over here, and then you can make your reservation. I do not suggest using an app on your phone for recreation.gov. I also don't suggest calling the phone number trying to get one of these reservations. There's a major lag time there, and it's likely that the reservations will already be gone by the time you get through. So I always use my laptop. I'm always on a computer itself. I never do this on my phone, again, because there is a lag time. So just FYI, use a computer so that you can have the best chance of getting these. When you make your reservation on recreation.gov, whoever's name is on that reservation does need to be in the vehicle with ID. They will be checking that as you go through the entrance station to verify that your reservation is yours. Now, using recreation.gov, especially for Yosemite, is very competitive. These are going to get snatched up very quickly. There definitely is like some skill involved to navigating the website and getting the reservations that you need. So I am not going to show you how to do that on this video, but when you purchase my Yosemite Itinerary at Dirt in My Shoes, I have a full walkthrough video of the entire process on recreation.gov. You can watch me get those reservations live. I show you exactly what it looks like. I show you how stressful it is, all glitches and everything included as I navigate the recreation.gov site and show you exactly how to snatch up these reservations. So go over to dirtinmyshoes.com, click on trip itineraries, scroll down, you will find Yosemite here. You can get this itinerary, and then you will also get the full walkthrough on recreation.gov of how to get these reservations. All right, so I promised though to share some ways around needing to go through this reservation process, because again, it is so competitive. And so any leg up you can give yourself to not have to go through recreation.gov and to instead get a different reservation within the park that also counts, that's a really good idea. So let's go back to the website and I will talk you through some of your other options. All right, so your first option here is your in-park camping, lodging, or vacation rentals. And so any of these here will count as your entrance reservation. So you don't need to go through the recreation.gov process if you have one of these. So if you're staying in an in-park campground, if you're staying in any of these lodges in the park, this one's a little funky. This is private lodging, so it's not necessarily run by the Park Service or in the park, but you do have to go through the park to get to these. And so if you're staying in an Airbnb or something in one of these communities, then that also counts as your entrance reservation. Okay, so looking at the map of the park, I'll show you where these are because this is actually a really cool way around needing these entrance reservations, and they're in pretty cool locations. And so your first is going to be Foresta, which is down here. So it's along the Big Oak Flat Road, but it's very close to Yosemite Valley. So if you can get something in there. Yosemite West is super popular. That's this little community right here. And so again, you'll see you have to drive through the park to get there, but then it's technically outside of the park, barely. But that's a really cool location for both Yosemite Valley and the Glacier Point Road, which is really cool. And then your other is Wawona, which is down here in the southern part. There is some private lodging down in there too. So it doesn't count if you're staying in one of the towns outside of the park. So Fish Camp, El Portal, you've got Groveland up here. Those ones don't count towards your timed entry or your entrance reservation, but these little smaller communities do. And then your other option is if you want to go backpacking through Yosemite, if you're able to get a wilderness permit reservation, that will count as your entrance reservation. Or if you're lucky enough to get a Half Dome permit, that also will count for your entrance reservation. And what's cool, so for Half Dome especially, usually that's only a one-day permit, but they will give you the 3 consecutive days. So the day that your Half Dome permit is, and then 2 additional days. If you're camping, actually, they will give you access the day before so that you can get in there. So anyway, read the fine print on those, but those are options. Okay, so those really are the best ways to bypass this reservation system. It's all about your lodging. Oftentimes, also, if you have in-park lodging, you're just much better set up for exploring the park. And so I typically like to push people towards that in-park lodging anyway, just because it sets you up better for your day and allows you to avoid the crowds better as well. If you're not able to get the in-park lodging, then you can, as I mentioned before, enter the park before 6 a.m. or after 2 p.m. That's an option. You can also take the Yards bus, which is a regional bus that will bring you in from some of those outside communities and drop you off in Yosemite Valley. So that's a good option because Yosemite Valley has a really great free shuttle system once you get there. So you don't really need a car in the valley. And so if you want to do that, that's a good option. You can enter on bicycle or on foot or on horseback, and you won't need an entrance reservation. You can also visit the Hetch Hetchy area of the park, which is a more remote area of the park. They are not checking entrance reservations there this year. And so that's an option. That is a pretty small area with not much parking, so it does get very congested with all those people who were not able to get their entrance reservations. Ideally, you're able to get your entrance reservation on recreation.gov, but what do you do if you're not able to get it and you also can't bypass the system in those other ways that I just mentioned? So what to do if you don't get one? Your best option is going to be to try to get those last minute ones that they'll release 7 days in advance of the day that you need to be there. And so you'll go through this whole process again on recreation.gov. Again, I help you with that in the Yosemite Itinerary and walk you through that process and the ins and outs of it. But that's the process you'll go through 7 days in advance at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And so you can do that. Or you'll just need to use those ideas that I mentioned, either going in before or after hours, getting an in-park reservation, or taking the bus. Now, my friend, it is no secret that Yosemite is incredibly busy, stressful, crowded. I have been to Yosemite many, many times, and I still get agitated sometimes when I'm trying to navigate through this park, trying to get parking, trying to get on the shuttle. Sometimes those lines get really long. Sometimes when you're driving around the park, it feels like you're playing Mario Kart. It's a lot of one-way roads with multiple lanes, and you're all kind of looking at each other going, I hope you don't steal my parking spot. Maybe I should drive a little faster. So that is how Yosemite is. But there are really good tactics that you can use to bypass some of that, to really get in there, to see what you want to see, to navigate the shuttle effectively so you're not waiting in line forever, to really plan your day out so that you get to the places at the best possible time to cut down on some of that crowding and traffic. So if that's you and you are worried about that and you'd like my help with that, click on over to dirtinmyshoes.com, pick up the Yosemite Itinerary, where I will walk you through hour by hour how to navigate Yosemite and how to see the best sights. I also have a whole bunch more Yosemite videos here on my YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe and watch those videos as I help you plan your perfect trip to Yosemite National Park. Happy trails!